Who was interested first? Who said I love you first? Who's more protective? Who cleans more? Who eats the most? Who spends the most money? Who is most likely to start an argument? Who falls asleep first? Who is more annoying? Who loves the hardest?
Where do we begin with this story? Because this is not just a domestic violence case. It's so much deeper than what we are used to. For those who may not be familiar with the story, let's do a quick rundown. So this is IVD and this is Bimbo. IVD is Ikechukwu Ogbonna and Bimbo is his wife. He is a notable car dealer, a businessman or an investor of some sort. And she is his wife, mother of his 4 children, or was it 5? 5 children. And together they've been making headlines since 2019. So this is not a today story. Their whole back and forth fight and alleged domestic violence storyline dates back to 2019 from where we know from where she first came out to the public to tell us. But they've been together for quite a long time. So this is them here back in the day. Even though the domestic violence case was first made public in 2019 by Bimbo herself, who came out around May to tell the whole world that her famous husband was maltreating her and abusing her violently at home. He used to beat her while she was pregnant, even beat her to the point she became unconscious. This was back in 2018, 2019. So that period of time, their relationship or their marriage was very rocky, and so it was said they may have separated, but in 2020, October thereabouts, they came back together because I guess they just had a new baby, a new child. Even when they came back together in 2020, there were moments she would suggest that she was still in an abusive relationship, that he was still abusing her. And that period of time, a lot of people told her to leave. You know, this is what we tell people, or this is what we tell women, especially in domestic relationship, to leave. But she didn't leave. And for the first time in a long time, learning about their history, I can understand why she didn't leave. And we will get to that point and I will explain it to you. So fast forward to this year, January 2022, she made a post suggesting that she was mentally unstable due to the constant treatment that her husband was giving to her. Some of them included him being unstable, him not, taking care of the family, him cheating, him probably, beating the kids thereabouts. They kept on fighting back and forth. This was pretty much the height of whatever was going on with them. However, on the 12th of October 2022, everything turned sour. So before we get to the incident of the 12th of October, let's go back a little. People have been advising her to leave the abusive marriage, but she wouldn't leave, and part of the reason is that she had invested so much in this man. She had given up so much of her life for this man. It is almost safe to say she built this man. She made this man who he is today. Everyone would see him as an investor, a businessman, a very rich guy. But when they tell you behind every successful man is a woman, this is an example of what that means. They met when she was 15 or 18 thereabout, and while she was in school, she used to give her school fees to him. He did not go to school. It was said she dropped out of school so this one could be successful. Forget that this is a domestic violence case. Like I said, it's deeper than that because this could also be a tragic love story, honestly. I think if you ask me, this is a tragic love story. It's more than just a domestic violence case because there was love between these two people. Mad love. There was a time it was said she was separated from him. She was taken to, was it Abuja? Just to separate them, and he threatened to hurt himself if she doesn't come back. And because of that, she ran away from where they kept her to come and meet him. So you could tell these two people had a love history. They were in love with each other. And even up to the end, even up to the point where she lost her life, there is a chance that she may have died trying to test his love for her. And we will get to that in a moment. So understanding why Bimbo never left IVD is understanding how much she had put into this man's career and life. She has given birth to 5 of his children for him. She has sacrificed her education for him. Even up to the point where his cheating started, there is a speculation that he may have been infected with a disease and may have also infected her too. So it's not clear if she was infected, but it was kept on a low because clearly she still wanted to make this relationship work. It only came out during a fight when they were fighting, then she blurted it out that he was infected or he was a carrier of the disease. but how she got to know is not stated, but people are speculating that she also may have been infected by him, and that was why they kept it on a low until she sparked. Now, when we hear domestic violence, especially in marriages, we tend to see the women as mostly the sufferer. She has actually been the one vocal about him maltreating her. However, after this incident, IVD has also come out to say his own side of the story, and usually we don't get to see the men speak on their own side. However, in this case, Ikechukwu seemed to have a lot of evidence against her. It's a story that would actually feel unbalanced, but if we're going to talk about the truth, we should talk about the whole truth, and that is what we're going to do here. There have been proof and evidence and suggestions that may have implicated her in this domestic abuse scandal. She was equally as aggressive as he was. She was not a damsel in distress. She was not someone who needed rescue. Bimbo was a tough woman. She is a very tough girl. And I will say this out of my own pocket. In as much as she's late now, I don't think this man could have killed her. This girl, from what we've heard, was a good match for him. It's unfortunate, but I may not be saying this the right way, but they were most likely meant for each other. Honestly. Yes, he was crazy and insane and violent, but she could match his energy. Maybe it was probably he had pushed her to that point. Maybe we can blame him for turning her into a monster, but this girl was fighting back. She fought her husband back. She called him out. We've seen videos of her throwing things at him, attacking him, destroying things. These were things that would most likely show you that, yes, he is abusive. She too could match that energy. So let's not look at it as one of those, oh, she was a woman being beaten, she could not defend herself, she could not fight back, she had all the disadvantages. She had more advantage in this case, if you ask me. Her family were all on her side. This guy was most likely by himself because I hear he's not in good terms with his family. So she had a family with her, her brother was living in the house, her mother came. So she had a lot more advantage than he does. Most likely him being a man and him owning most of the properties and him being in charge financially may have been his only advantage. But physically, it seemed as though this girl could beat him up. Yes, evidence has it that IVD had abused Bimbo. He had beaten her several times. But, you know, there are records and evidence that also show that Bimbo was a tough match for him. So, I don't know if I want to say this. It seemed as though this was some sort of an even playing field. The only thing here was that Bimbo could not leave because of the properties that they have and everything they built was for her too. So she wouldn't just leave that. Seeing all the sacrifices that she has made to get this man to where he is, to get all the things that they have now, it's unfair for her to leave and leave him with these things. It's unfair. So that is the part where I understood her when she said she was not just going to leave like that. It's so much sacrifice on her part. There were even rumors that she used to do some sort of juju sacrifice for him for his business. You know, carrying calabash, going to the native doctor to do some fetish things just to make his business successful. These are things that people are saying that she did for him. So, man, honestly, she did a whole lot. She had given way too much. And if she said she was not going to leave, I understood, because why would she leave the house when it's also a house? And now I guess this is where the problem comes, because her staying means she would still have to keep dealing with him. And that was kind of like the basis of the recent fight that they had to keep having. She would have to keep dealing with him. She would have to keep dealing with his shortcomings, him cheating, him being insensitive, him abusing drugs, him not caring for the children, him threatening, and probably they said he allegedly beat one of the child, the son, for standing up for the mother. And there were also rumors that he wasn't paying the children's school fees. So these are things that were the domestic cause of their fights majorly. And I guess Bimbo was hoping he would change, and because she kept being in his business. That is until the 12th of October 2022, when it seemed Bimbo had had enough. So on that 12th of October 2022, it was clear that Bimbo was done. Sources claim that Bimbo was now ready to leave because she had tried. She had tried. But the thing is, she just wouldn't want to go empty-handed. She can't just leave the house for him, or the cars, or the property. She just couldn't. And frankly, I understand that part. She had a master plan to escape the house without leaving empty-handed, but unfortunately, that plan did not go as she would have wanted, as we would have wanted, because up until this point of her planning to leave, I was mostly rooting for her to leave. And the plan that she had was quite intelligent. She wanted to leave with the documents of the house. That was a very smart thing. Clearly, she can't go with the property, she can't go with the house, she can't carry it on her head. So the idea to leave the documents of ownership of the house was a very smart move, a very intelligent one. But the problem with this was that the documents were in a safe inside the house. IVD had locked it in a safe that only he had access to, and she needed to get into that safe. And she called a welder. It was said Bimbo called a welder to the house to break into the safe after IVD had left that day. That early day, it was said IVD walked out. They had a fight, I'm not sure, and he walked out. And I guess that was her plan. She wanted to get him out, and because usually people say when they fight, when they get angry, he usually walks out. So that day, he walked out and left the house. And that was when she smartly called the welder. And the welder came to the compound, went into the safe, and was trying to break it. But for some reason, he got a tip. Someone snitched. Someone called him and told him what the wife was up to. It's unclear who. Some sources are saying the man was watching her from a CCTV footage. Some sources said it was neighbors who knows their business. Some sources are saying it was a security man. But it's unclear who tipped him off or how he found out what Bimbo was doing. But he did. And he drove into the compound, like he drove with speed, like he was rushing to the house. He did not even turn off his vehicle. Came to the house. Bimbo heard he had come. She locked the doors. The welder man had successfully broken into the safe. She had gotten the document. It was now time for her to leave, but she can't leave because IVD was now in the compound, banging the door, breaking it open just so he could get into the house. And that was it. That was how IVD got into the house and began dragging the documents with her. I don't know how the document was, whether it was a paper, it looked like it could have torn, but they said he successfully got the document from her, which made her feel like she had lost. So upon seeing that she may have lost the fight of getting something out of this divorce or separation that was about to happen, it frustrated her. Now, the sources that we are getting this story from is Bimbo's brother, who lived in the compound in the same house as them. He's the one telling this to Daddy Freeze, and from everything that he said, it was insinuated or it was made to seem as though Bimbo felt like she had lost a fight since he got hold of the documents. Clearly he outsmarted her, and she felt since she's not getting anything, everything would go down. Bimbo's brother was the one who still said this, that Bimbo got the kerosene and began pouring it in the house, in the curtains, everywhere, saying that she was going to burn everything down. And in the heat of this argument, I guess what she wanted was for him to beg, apologize, calm her down. Because at the same time, if you go back to the beginning that we have talked about, they had love for each other. There was love in this relationship. Mad love, not small baby kind of love. They really did love each other. But sometimes love can get the best of us. And according to what the brother was saying, it made it seem as though Bimbo wanted some kind of closure. And I would understand that. If she can't get the house back or get the properties, she should at least get her man back. And that was kind of like what she was hoping for when she poured herself the kerosene and started setting the curtains on fire, hoping, trying to see if he would stop her. And honestly, any human being, regardless of love, who have an atom of humanity in them, would have stopped this woman. Clearly, he had run out of love for her, and it seemed like she never ran out of love for him. Because for him to stand there and watch her burn, it's just, I don't even know what to say, it's despicable, honestly. But although the claims are he pushed her into the fire, but sources are saying she set the house on fire and was trying to hold him down so the two of them could bond together, and he pushed her away to move himself out of the situation, causing her to fall into the fire. And that was it. And he went outside and did not save her. And I think that is a problem. That is, this story is deep, man. So him not saving her was kind of like the problem here. Even though her sister have said he pushed her into the fire. So it looked like something the court would have to judge. But given the situation, it seemed like she was the one who set the fire up and poured the kerosene, and so clearly she had had enough. Remember, she complained about her mental health earlier this year, and I don't know if she ever got help for it, but I'm having a feeling that mental health situation was never solved. She most likely never got therapy. She most likely wasn't taken seriously when she was telling us that her mental health has been, because the storm that she had gone through with this man is enough to drive her crazy. And for her to do that thing, pour the fuel on her body, it shows you that this man had driven her mad. She had been driven mad to that point. And remember when they were lots early in their love, when they were a lot younger, when they separated her from him, he threatened to also kill himself. He threatened to hurt himself. He threatened to. And she ran out of her family. She broke family rules. She disrespected her entire family just to come be with him so he wouldn't hurt himself. And I think that was what she was trying to do, to see if he would save her from herself, and he never did. He was still focused on the pain and the hurts and the injuries and the blood. Man, I don't know what to say, but after the incident, like after everything, it was said her family came eventually, the brother came, she was brought out of the fire, she was rushed to 10 hospitals, and none of these hospitals could take her. None of them could help her. Eventually, one was able to take her in, and she was there in intensive care unit for 3 days before eventually dying on the 12th, 13th, 14th, on the 15th, yeah. For eventually dying on the 15th, and man, that's it. As at the time of making this video, it's being said that IVD is on the run. He had made some posts after her death, and the post suggested that he was not remorseful. He kept claiming like she deserved it, and people were like, he's sort of cold-hearted. So I guess he's still in shock, or he's still in the heat of the moment. Maybe he will come to his senses, because I can't imagine also what his mental health situation would be like. It's a very crazy situation. It's a very deep. This is one domestic violence case that has been so complicated for anyone to wrap their heads around. It's hard to take sides on this one. We want to be on Bimbo's side. We all should be on her side. She is the victim here. Yes, she had some roles that she may have played, but at the same time, I feel like it still boils down to how she was treated. This man pushed her, if you ask me. This man turned her into the mad woman that she became. This love turned her into it. And it may not just be the man by himself, but maybe it's her love for him, because it seemed like she still cared for him. She still loved him even till that very moment. And even if she didn't, it didn't feel right for her to leave. If not, she would lose so much. She gave this man her entire life. And I guess she felt like she owned his life. And when she wasn't getting the same treatment that she used to get in the beginning, it may have frustrated her, because men change, people change, and this man changed. She just couldn't keep up. She couldn't contain him. She couldn't control him. She couldn't keep making him her man, and everything just went haywire. And her death is very tragic. We don't know what will happen now, if this would go to court, because the family of the girl are blaming it on him. I think he should go to court. I feel like the court should examine this case, because in as much as there are chances that he did not directly kill her or cause her death, saying that she was the one with the kerosene and the fire, I still feel like he played a big role. And in standing there and not going to save her, he may as well have killed her. He may as well have killed her, because for him to stand there and not do anything, that is another height of, I guess she was just heartbroken, because she was hoping he would be the husband, or be a human being at least. A human being at least. Even if you hated her, if you're a human being, you can't see another human being burning. That is inhuman of anyone. You don't even need to love her or be her husband to have rescued her from that fire. You did not need to. You did not have to. Like, a dog would have helped her. So why couldn't you? This case is annoying, honestly. This story is just annoying. I'm so angry. You guys, let me know your thoughts. Let me know how you feel about this. Who should be blamed? He, she, or them both? Like, let me know how you feel.